What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Saturday, August the 10th, 2024, fresh off of SmackDown, on our way to Bash at Berlin. Just had SummerSlam, sweet SmackDown last night. We got to see the Tribal Chief, all kinds of good stuff. We're going to break it down today. I've got an awesome original daily crew riding with me, one that we don't get very often. First and foremost, though, I'm going to introduce our head of opinions. Send it out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Anthony Ricciardi. How are you on this fine Saturday?
Doing all right, not too bad, not too bad. Don't feel bad, Clark, with the name. I'm not sure if it's Bash in Berlin. At this point, I know it's just Bash in Berlin. I'm not sure what combination of it is. Obviously, SmackDown happened last night. Some things happened to help build to that pay-per-view, or PLE, whatever they want to call it these days. And we're going to get into it. It should be fun.
Absolutely. I am stoked to break it all down, and I agree with you. Things will be bashed in Berlin, and that's all I know about it. I don't understand the name either. That's an easy fumble when it comes to that. But I got to send this one across the pond to the same continent as Berlin, at least. To my good friend, it's RC Saturday all of a sudden, out of nowhere. Chaos, what is good?
What is good? What's good, everybody? Happy Saturday. Yeah, this is my first Saturday in a long time, but I am looking forward to talking about SmackDown and also what's been planned for Bash in Berlin. Guys, you guys sound like Hulk Hogan with the Superdome situation. It's Bash in Berlin, all right? That's
Silverdome.
Silverdome.
Yeah, the Silverdome sold, the Pontiac Silverdome, they sold it out, Chaos. Good call.
Indeed, definitely. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talk about SmackDown, and I even got a couple of hot takes that I'm pretty sure not many people are gonna like, but I can't wait to get into it.
I gotta say,
the fun shows.
It was really nice of WWE to make you a head of Take It to the Table t-shirt. That I respect that from them. That was huge. I can't actually believe that they went out of their way for you.
They plugged, man. I got the plug.
You know, they probably had to do that because he probably had the trademark for table. So they probably, that was the settlement, a shirt.
Head of the Take It to the Table. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what the shirt says. I can see it right between the...
I got the table. I trademarked the color blue. That's all mine. It's all coming together, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all coming together. Yeet. Anyway, let's talk about what Cody wanted to talk about last night, because he was really talking about what he wanted to talk about last night as much as he could. Cody Rhodes will be taking on a friend of his, as far as we know, Kevin Owens, in Berlin. He's the next challenger. This one was funkier than a football bat to me, only because I'm looking at it like this. So Cody Rhodes is a good guy. Kevin Owens is a good guy. First, he's like, no. And then Cody and Nick Aldis combined do enough to get under his skin that he's like, yeah, I'm in. Now I'm furious. Come on, man. You can't have the challenger being manipulated like that in a way and expect him to possibly win this match. I really hope Kevin shows up a completely different Kevin next week. I'm really cool with the match on paper. It's gorgeous when it comes to that. But Anthony, I got to get your thoughts on this one. Out of the gates, Cody and Kevin main event, Berlin, or not so fast, my friend. Is this going to be the opener?
I definitely think this was very clunky how they got there. I don't have a problem with the match. I think it's an ideal match. You know, you have Cody against somebody that was very tight with Dusty Rhodes. So, and if most people don't probably realize this, but when Cody came back to the company, his first couple dark matches post Raw were against Kevin Owens. There's a very tight bond with those two. I didn't like the fact that, like, Kevin's like, no, I don't want a title shot. No, I don't want to touch it. It's not believable. Like, at the same point, like he said eventually when he got annoyed, was I never got a rematch when I lost the Universal title all those years ago, which I think most people probably even forgot that he hadn't gotten a rematch. I know I went, wait, that is true. So I don't like the way they did it. I understood why Kevin, because you want to keep Cody away from Roman. You're not doing the match in Berlin against Roman. You're not doing Randy yet because they've now made Randy go after Gunther because of the whole King of the Ring thing, which I'm completely cool with. And really, Randy against Gunther and Cody against Kevin Owens are done to essentially give the fans of Berlin a really good marquee matchup, and also to keep the titles on the champions in all seriousness. So I think it's going to be a solid match. I don't like the way they got there. I'm hoping they don't do the KO turn on Cody, only because at some point Randy's going to do it. And you're really going to have 2 turns on him, and also Roman eventually in the wings once he gets his family sorted out. I don't know if you want to do that. And also in the wings somewhere, the final boss is sitting around making new weight belts to whip Cody with. So at some point, this is going to come to a head.
I hear you there too. And I think that's my primary issue with this, Anthony, is like, it seems too friendly. Like, why are they so, like, it's too friendly.
I mean,
all of it.
Once in a while, babyface against babyface is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember the 98 SummerSlam, Austin was defending against Taker. Technically, they were both baby faces. Even though they teased the Kane thing, they technically were both baby faces. It could be done, and because this is kind of not one of the core pay-per-views, I'm okay with it because you have a short build and it's a friendly rivalry. But you could turn KO and give that a run with the 2 of them, but I don't think anybody's taking that belt off of Cody until either Rock or Roman gets involved.
True. And that's where like my main complaint is, it's just so blatantly obvious that this is the route they went so that Gunther can main event this card.
Well, that was a given no matter what happened.
And it was a given anyway, but it just was so telegraphed in that way. That was frustrating to me. Chaos, I got to get your thoughts on Cody here. No tie clip last night. Interesting decision, fashion-wise. No tie clip last night, but
bonus point.
He finally talked about what he wanted to talk about, and he did it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I do agree with Anthony. I feel like they kind of went around this a bit clunky, and it just kind of just proves even more so that this pay-per-view it definitely feels like filler. It's like one of those episodes of Naruto and Dragon Ball Z where you just, you could skip this one. It's filler because obviously I understand kind of the situation with Randy Orton and Gunther, but again, the fact that they put that on the pay-per-view also clarifies that the draft makes no sense whatsoever. It just completely made it even more redundant. The guy's a SmackDown superstar. What the hell? But anyway, I'm here for it. I do feel like it does nerf Kevin Owens because, if I recall, Owens used to always be a prize fighter. That was one of his nicknames. He was a prize fighter. No matter how he got to it, he always goes for gold. The fact that he's actually saying, no, I don't deserve it. I've lost most of my matches and I've.
And did we lose Chaos?
I think we just.
Oh,
he's back.
Hello, am I back?
You're back.
There we go. Why does it always happen to me every time I'm talking to y'all? Anyway, yeah, I just feel like this whole thing just completely nerfed him. And I think doing a heel turn does need to give him a bit more momentum for a possibility that he might win it. I don't think he's going to win, obviously not, but because of this, it definitely makes this pay-per-view a filler. And obviously, on one hand, Cody Rhodes obviously put Solo in his place earlier in the night as well. That was a good promo between them two. But yeah, I'm not fearing for Cody. Like you say, he's gonna probably hold it until Roman and Rock comes back into the picture. But yeah, it was just disappointing for Owens. I think he needs to go heel 100%. I think everyone needs to turn on Cody, and then yeah, he just needs to just put them back in their place. I feel so. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
I agree. Other than I'm wondering if it's not the opposite. Cody turns on everybody at some point now. He kind of goaded Kevin into this match.
The only problem with that is no one wants babyface Rock against heel Cody. Everyone wants final boss. Like realistically, if you're going to do this match, Nobody wants to see Homelander Cody against Final Boss Rock. Although that might be better in
I'll
some
say that's
ways.
Roman.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to
Right.
do it, okay, I would take that over babyface Rock against heel Cody. But the ideal is
That I agree
Final
with.
Boss. The ideal is Final Boss Rock against the American Nightmare, everyone's favorite Cody Rhodes. Like, that's what you want. That's the money.
I agree with that. Actually, that's a great way to quantify that, Anthony. And it's a great point. We got a ton of comments. Let me run through really quick. Lord Virus of Nurgle, friend of the show, monster shout out, sup Clark. And then he asked, why do you get in the industry if not to win championships? And that goes along the lines of what we were saying about being a prize fighter.
Yep.
He also asked, why is there no rematch between Priest and Gunther? That's a great question. They tried to explain that last night, and I felt like they did a decent job, but it wasn't perfect. I
think it's in the same.
And it was
logic.
weird because that came up. The rematch clause stuff came up in Cody and Kevin's conversation.
I think they're going the same. I think they're going the same logic. Why Roman's not going straight for the belt? He's got something else distracting him. Priest obviously is distracted by Balor. I think that's the logic is what they're trying to justify it. I'm guessing.
That would make a lot of sense to me. Lord Virus of Nurgle also added, what are they doing with what they're doing with Carmelo Hayes is disgusting. I've complained about it.
Yeah.
I've complained about it. It doesn't make sense to me because of how hot he was on NXT.
Yeah.
If you're going to call him up and not use him, then what are we doing? That's an issue.
That's a Vince error problem. I'm very surprised that Hunter's following that same pathway because he just hasn't landed. You and I buried this multiple times.
Mello's felt like 50-50 booking, which is so frustrating. He's supposed to not miss. You can't not miss if your percentage is in the 50s.
You're no longer him when you're not relevant.
Yeah, I mean,
and losing a lot.
He can at least still be him, going 50-50.
But he's not now.
That's
the problem.
It's brutal. We also have Bobby Petito on YouTube with hello guys. He added Kevin Owens is a nice opponent for Cody Rhodes, and that's exactly how I would describe it. He's a nice opponent. And if we dig too deep into that, nice might be too nice of an opponent. Would be my only complaint. But he added, what if Kevin Owens turned heel? I think we're going to see a temporary close to turn, pseudo turn, tweener Kevin Owens on the way.
Yeah, tweener probably.
Turn needs to be Orton. I don't know how they're going to get around it now that he's going for the World Heavyweight Championship, but yeah, it's definitely going to be for him.
You know, he's not beating Gunther, and then he'll eventually come back.
No.
So,
We've also got the Soul Sessions, our good friend Soul in the comments with HBK Kids versus Triple H Kids Family War Games. You're crazy, but I love it. That's hilarious.
War games.
War games.
Well,
as long as Regal announces
Regal
that I'm
can legally say it now, so let's have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Adam Pearce did a decent job, but yeah, it's really in Regal's house there.
The amount of fantasy booked War Games matches I think we've had in this week of dailies is the funniest thing. We've had Bloodline. We fantasy
the Bloodline's the one that's happening.
15 different War Games matches this week. We're 3 months out.
We haven't gotten the NXT TNA for that one.
Yeah. Why don't we just have them all fight? Do a 3-ring War Games.
You want the
and everybody fights
3-ring.
You want the triple tier cage on each level.
AEW versus New Japan versus WWE War Games, and then there's like 5 teams on each roster.
Wait, didn't WCW have like a tower one?
They did.
They did.
Jesus Christ.
They did a tower. They did a tower, and they did a 3-ringed battle royal.
World War III.
They did a knockoff Royal Rumble with 3 rings. Yes. And my favorite thing ever is the best part about the Royal Rumble is like the entrances and like who enters. Yeah. They put 50 dudes out there in the ring first, and then they hit the entrances for the Wolfpack.
Yeah,
and like
typical
4 others.
Typical.
It was like, yeah.
It wasn't technically the Royal Rumble because all of them were in the ring at the same time. It was a battle royal, but yeah, it was only the same principle. Yes,
it was over the top rope.
Yes, it was.
It was fascinating. I believe Kevin Nash actually got the win.
Kevin Nash is the only one I remember, but I know there's other people that have won it, but Nash is the only one I remember.
Well, Nash got the win to get the shot against Goldberg.
Yes.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought out Scott Hall with the cattle prod.
It's that one. Oh, God.
Yes, it's that one.
Moving on.
Got him. This is the
God damn
best.
it.
I got sent to the principal's office. I bullied a kid over that. I was like,
This is
Kevin
not
Nash
the
is
first
gonna
time
beat
you've
him.
mentioned this on a daily.
This undefeated streak is over.
Oh my
But
God.
Back
let's
to SmackDown.
let's move on to another SmackDown topic.
Please.
We have Santos Escobar
Mhm.
as the next challenger for LA Knight.
Mhm.
Yeah. LA Knight was so dang good last night in this promo. Like,
Mhm.
it was outstanding. The match between Santos and Andrade,
Mhm.
solid as
Yeah.
expected.
Mhm.
Solid as expected. But does Santos stand toe to toe with LA Knight and make me feel something special recently after what he's accomplished the
Mhm.
last 2 years
Mhm.
with the majority of his feuds?
Mhm.
Not just yet. Santos has got to do something different
Mhm.
here to make me
Mhm.
believe it's a
Mhm.
possibility. Anthony, are you in the same boat there?
That's the thing. I think Escobar is a tremendous talent. I loved him in NXT. At least he's not feuding with Ray anymore. And I do think he is a solid opponent for LA Knight because I think they could have a decent match. And obviously you want LA Knight to keep going. But like quite frankly, like at this point, Escobar is a JOBBER in this situation. He's a jobber in this. I mean, no one really believes Escobar has a shot. And the sad part is, I think as a whole, just based on the limited matches we know so far for Bash and Berlin, it's pretty predictable on who's winning these matches. But I do think it could work. As a decent little match. I think Escobar could surprise some people in the competitiveness of the match. But Escobar is definitely somebody that I think you could get behind and kind of run with, to try to push because I do think he does have something there to be successful as a mid card guy. But you could say the same thing with Andrade. But but really Escobar won just the job to LA Knight. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. It's weird to me that you have LA Knight in the position he's in now, where almost the logic would be in old school logic that it would be time to turn him heel almost in this scenario because of the fact that he's worked so long as a quality face and everything. He gets a hold of this title and you put him on the winning streak, turn him heel again for a second until he loses the US title, and then you elevate him to the main card. I think that's what we would have done in the past. That's not the case anymore necessarily, especially with Triple H at the helm. And I'm looking at this like, okay, so we have a babyface LA Knight that logically should squash Santos Escobar. He logically should. But that is not what is going to make a crowd react. It's just not, that's not the case. So we need to get to a spot where it feels like Santos might snag that thing off of LA Knight again if we're going to continue on this road.
The problem is if LA Knight turns on him during the match, it's essentially a double turn. Essentially, that's what you're shooting for at that point because if LA Knight turns heel, Escobar, in theory, would then become a babyface.
Right.
And I'm fine with it if that's their intention, if that's the direction they want to go. Both guys could definitely work heel. Both of them have history with that. LA Knight has history in NXT and pre WWE, so it's doable. But if you're doing it, it's going to end up being a double turn.
Yeah, it's a funky situation. Chaos, do you have anything to add on the US title picture?
I mean, I think it's just too early to say right now. Obviously, LA Knight is hella over right now. I say right away, see how it goes. Sorry,
I said shout out NorCal, Bay Area.
Yeah, but it's hella over. But and the promo was solid. I mean, it was to the point where even threw Santos Escobar off for a minute. He kind of stumbled his words a couple times because they were so on him. I'd say see how it goes right now. I know Santos definitely needs some momentum on his side. And see where it goes. But yeah, I'm loving it right now. I think it's just too early to say to make him turn heel. Just maybe when he's on the brink of probably losing it to a much stronger opponent down the line, Yeah, you could do a double turn at that point, but yeah, not with Santos right now. Santos just turned already just now. So yeah, make him get a couple defenses and then see where it goes from there.
I'm with you there. Yeah, I think Santos, to make this more relevant than it currently is to me, needs some of that secret juice from Space Jam. That might be what my recommendation would be for Santos. That would help.
Honestly, Mello wouldn't be a bad choice for LA Knight to turn on, because I think Mello could maybe get a babyface type run with a heel LA Knight. You might be able to do that.
Oh, that is actually very possible. I don't mind that at all with Mello versus LA Knight. If that's the route and we get there, then a lot of problems get solved at once, which I'm cool with. Speaking of solving problems all at once, let's talk about our friends over at Next Level really quickly. If you're looking for more wrestling content, go to Next Level because it's all in one place. You can check out our stuff, multiple other creators, but mostly check out our stuff. Head over to nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic. All of our content across all platforms are linked in one location. It's as user-friendly as you can ask for. I don't know much else I can say positive about it because it's the best and it's absolutely free. Check it out. nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic. All our content, one place. But let's get back into SmackDown. The women's division received 2 minutes. It was Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire. And I will say this. Good friend of mine, Brian Palermo, monster shout out. Pimo, you're the man. Mentioned that he was at the gym and he saw Jade Cargill and decided to watch the rest of SmackDown. So no matter how negative we have to be about this atrocity, that is the fact that it was only 2 minutes of time. At least Jade being on the screen gained one new viewer. I will say that. Beyond that, dang it. We needed more time. We just needed more time, didn't we, Chaos? Talk to me about it.
1 second. I'm going to take a little page from Soul right now.
Yep.
Come on, people. It's not that deep. 2 minutes. Really? You're moaning over 2 minutes. There was so much to unpack after SummerSlam. Sure, they could have cut down a bit of the replay vignettes that they were doing. Sure, they probably should have scrapped DIY versus A Town Down Under. But there was so much to unpack. It wasn't to the point where there wasn't that much filler. I don't think there was that much filler. Out of all the matches that I cared about, to be honest, the least one I cared about was Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire. And there's no momentum. There's no interest in that for me anyway, personally. Sure, they got something going on with the tag team belts. No one cares about the tag team belts. It's just 1 week. Get over it. Everyone's all of a sudden being an advocate for women's wrestling as if WWE has been doing. AEW does this 10 times worse. All right? It's just 1 week. They got a lot of they got a lot of advertising and all storytelling and all that stuff going into SummerSlam. You're getting on their necks for 1 week. You might get better next week. If it keeps on going after this week, fair enough. But it's just 1 week and you're moaning about 2 minutes and all of a sudden you're advocating for women's wrestling as if they've completely forgotten about it. Sit your asses down, drink some water. It's fine. There was a lot of stuff to unpack. Fair enough. It's just 2 minutes. I understand that. They got a stacked women's roster. But don't go on as if, they are completely blackballing the women's wrestling division. It's not that deep. The show was still enjoyable. It was to the point where you didn't even really notice it. Sure, they might have got Sissy J Cargill. Fair enough. But keep it kosher. It's not that deep. We'll get you. You'll get your women's wrestling on Raw. And if you're lucky, look, they're starting a tournament on WWE Speed. There you go. You're happy. Touch some grass. Move on. Next topic, please.
Chaos. I have never, and I agree with you often, agreed more. This was Panic Button 101.
Oh, yeah. A meltdown.
Absolutely
bogus. There's no women for me to jerk off on. It's not that deep. Just
It
calm
is
it
not
down.
that deep. It isn't that deep.
Listen, they have a finite amount of time to put on so many stories that they have to do. It's a business. People act like, oh, it's got to be 50-50. It's what moves the needle at the end of the day. And it was one show. It's not repetitive. It's not, get over it. Like there are NXT episodes that are predominantly, the majority is probably the women wrestling on NXT. It happens. Some weeks there's more, some weeks there's less. I grew up in the era where the most they got were the brawn panty matches and mud puddles and whatever other stuff. Like
pudding.
Pudding. Like, relax. And Jade went over. Jade's limited in what she could do in the ring. You won her 2 minutes for a squash to establish her. It's what AEW did when she was the TBS champion. Calm down, people.
By the way, I'm seeing one of my good buddies, casual wrestling fan, at the gym, SmackDown's on, saw Jade Cargill and goes, oh, who is she?
Yes.
Based on that, was locked into the rest of the product. So in that regard, this segment served its purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. In every way.
Yes.
And I'm both of y'all's points. I'm with Chaos. You were spot on there. Why hit the red button is easy to hit because it's big and it's red.
Yeah.
But let's not keep your finger on it like you're gonna touch it at any moment.
When I saw Ben's analysis on, and he was saying about it was going on, saying he's all of a sudden some big advocate, I was like, come on, bro, it's not that deep. The show was still good. It's not to the point where there's online backlash, and if it is, they're just people grabbing for attention, and they're just it's not that deep.
And you've had so many women featured across the WWE product this week.
No one complained prior to SummerSlam. No one complained. I mean, now 1 week, and you say, oh, there needs to be balance. It needs to be equality. Calm your asses down.
But I mean, if we're talking balance and equality too, outside of SmackDown, if you include every piece of WWE programming and you include NXT and Raw, well, it's not just 2 minutes of live national, international television programming. And I am actually, Chaos, I think you're spot on there.
They have to pay attention to the ratings. They have to keep sponsors happy. They're looking at numbers we don't have access to.
Well, I'm also a diehard fan of women's wrestling.
Yes.
The availability of the division on SmackDown may have not been there either, given the amount of work that's been put in fresh off of a pay-per-view and the amount of travel as well. There are multiple factors at play here, right? Roster size, injuries, things like that, At
the end of the day, if you really wanted more than 2 minutes, there's Stardom. There's Marigold. There you go. Have your fill.
You can have 15.
Technically,
you'd like 25.
Isn't WoW still around too? On some.
There you go. There you go. The world's your oyster. There you go. God
okay,
damn it.
Let's get.
When I saw the comments, I was like, "Come on, bro,
stop it."
Yep.
Let's get back into SmackDown though, and something I am excited for. Let's get those ones up because that original tribal chief. The only tribal chief is back. Roman Reigns, I wish he would have taken the mic, but I don't care. Give me some spears. Give me some Superman punches. Beat some people up. I was actually shocked he bumped as much as he did. I'm not going to lie. I was a little like, whoa, wait, did not see that. Didn't have that one on my bingo card. But it was awesome. The stares, the facial expressions, everything about this Roman return is still intriguing because they didn't do anything super special. That's what I loved about it. This was so classic. It was just some fighting. It was just some fighting, and there was no reason to talk about it or do any of that stuff. There's going to be a bald man from Philadelphia that's gonna. Well, I guess he's from New York.
Technically from New York, but adopted.
Technically a New Yorker that I think is going to have a lot to say about this kind of stuff. But dang, is it good to have the tribal chief back. Dang, is it cool to see him take out the bloodline. It's got to be Roman Solo one-on-one ASAP, but it's going to overshadow every card you put it on. So I think which card you decide to do it on is the key. Because how does that not main event? If We did it at Bash at Berlin. How does it not main event? If we did it at Bad Blood, how does it not main event without a title? How does it not? We know Roman Reigns either goes first or he goes last, and it's mostly last. I'm super fascinated by this. I'm fascinated by the return. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Chaos. This all goes way back. Roman's back.
Guess who's back again, and with a vengeance. Yeah, this segment was awesome, man. Solo coming out first and just saying, yo, you want these beads, come and get them. You know where I'm at. And then obviously, hey, that new theme is starting to grow on me. I was kind of wondering, why did they have to change it? But I can see why he did it. The tribal chief, the original theme is, it has its own legacy, what it was attached to. Obviously, you gotta what's the right term? Like
Evolve.
Make it more majestic and just make it a bit more awesome. Yeah. And it was awesome. He came out, the pyro went off behind him, looking like $1 million. Completely took out Tama Tonga cleanly with a dirty clothesline. And then obviously Tonga Loa. Is that no Tama Tonga? I was getting them confused.
Yes.
Which one is which?
Loa's
Loa's
the botcher.
The botcher and the eye patch one is Tonga Loa.
Tonga Loa. There you go. Okay.
He was Camacho.
I got it right. All right.
Back
Tonga
in the day.
Loa, yeah.
Remember Camacho?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Orale Holmes. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that. Moving swiftly on.
Off the rails.
Yeah. No, that was it was an awesome promo. It was to the point where Roman didn't need to speak, and again, the crowd was completely. That again is one of the biggest oohs I've heard since SummerSlam. It was definitely more clearer and more. They were more into it. They knew what they were doing, and took out Tonga Loa, and took him through the barricade. Now, when it comes to Solo and clearly it's whoever gets custody of the beads. I don't know if you should do it at Bad Blood. I feel like the main event at Bad Blood should definitely be something involving CM Punk. But yeah, I don't like what you don't want to waste it at Saudi. Yeah, you really got Survivor Series is going to be a multi-man. I don't know. I feel like they're going to try and stretch this all the way to Mania. I feel like if Cody's going to go for Rock at Mania, surely Roman needs to. Obviously, he wants to be on take one of those big nights and then give the best person to obviously main event will be his own family, which will be Solo. I think that'll be the best. I don't know how they're gonna do it. They're probably gonna do the multi-mans, and then he might have to take out Tonga Loa, then Tama Tonga, and then Jason Fatu. Don't forget about Jason Fatu. He might have to build his way up to.
You mean Jacob Fatu?
So what did I say? Did I say Jason?
You said Jason.
My goodness, I am terrible.
I bet Jason's good too. If they get Jason Fatu, I bet he's great.
Hey, that family's big. There probably is a Jason Fatu somewhere.
Yeah, I bet he's a stud.
But yeah,
I mean, Jacob's got 7 kids, so one of them could be Jason. I don't know.
There you go. Then there you go. Perfect.
Honestly, Jason Fatu sounds kind of hard. I'm afraid of him debuting.
But yeah, I feel like they're somehow going to stretch it into, and it's not that far. Maybe it's not that far. It's only about 6 months away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. It's like they could actually stretch it out and somehow wait until Mania to give us Solo versus, because that is money. That is money, and that's where you can actually get back the title of Tribal Chief, head of the table. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my prediction. I think that's where the money is at. I'm gonna put a bold prediction. Mania.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that idea, but I think there's 2 choices within that too, and not to completely pivot the conversation from last night's thing. Mm-hmm. But if we're thinking that far in the future, the way I look at it, you got to do Roman Solo now, because you need to get to a spot where we're actually working towards Roman Rock. Cody Rock was cute, and that's fine. And you can take that, to your local laser tag store and trade it in, and you'll get free laser tag for 2 hours. But you get free laser tag for life if you end up with Roman and Rock at Mania. That's what we need. Roman and Rock over the beads. The beads are more important than the belt.
No, not to Rock. He wants to go for the title. That was the original plan. He wanted to go for the title and against Roman. We did the famous pivot. He wants to go for the title against Cody, and we got that long-term thing. Is not. I don't think it's gonna come back till Mania. And then
So
we got the tease. We got the John Cena and Rock tease. I'm gonna see you at Mania. He didn't say it, but that's what we're gonna get at Mania. So yeah,
that's where my mood says you get Cody Rock Rumble, Cody Rock Rumble, and Roman screws Rock, and everyone goes ballistic. Cody's gonna lose to the Rock, and then it's about the beads. It's about delay. It's about delay. It's about being the tribal chief, and that's main event for one of the nights. And it doesn't need a title. It doesn't need, but Rock Roman's the one, man. Cody Rock's great. He has the title still because Roman saves him again. You know, he has the belt. And he's got his suits and whatnot. Anthony, obviously, as our resident Cody Rhodes guy, I can't fathom you actually agree with that take. But what do you think about Roman's return in relation to Cody and this reign as well?
All right, don't assume I disagree with that. I do think, honestly, if they don't go 3-way with Cody, Rock, Roman at Mania, I do think it's going to be Rock and Roman. I think the Cody match would happen with The Rock at the Rumble. I do agree with you. Roman's probably going to screw him out of it. I think Mania, they may go Cody Orton because they are dragging this out. So if they don't do Orton Cody at the Rumble then they're going to do it at Mania is my guess. I think what's going to happen with this is I think you do Solo because we all know Solo is the fake tribal chief, but extra fake because we know Rock is probably calling the shots behind the scenes. Out of the current iteration of the Bloodline, he's the third least intimidating one of the group. And the only reason he's not last is because the pirate's there if it keeps botching stuff. As more family gets at it, Solo's going to get dropped down the line. But I think they are going to do the Roman Solo thing, probably, maybe not at Berlin. I don't know if Roman's going to fly out to Berlin. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. They could happen at Bad Blood. I don't think it'll main event because I do think they're going to probably go Punk, Drew, Hell in a Cell, probably. That's probably what they're going to do with Bad Blood. But what I do think is, in between all this, is the debut episode of SmackDown back on USA Network. And I think that might be where they do Roman Solo and Rock is revealed as the true guy behind the whole thing, which leads into the build-up of Survivor Series, and Roman starts bringing in the OG Bloodline to take on this Savage part of the Bloodline. The thing, though, is Jacob Fatu may be injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out. The plus side with that family line, there's always another Samoan. So they'll throw somebody else in the family line to make this work.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going. This is all... Roman's dance card is completely full with just his family drama now through Mania.
I agree. To me, the moment, and I've repeated it and I will do it again on this show over and over this week, the moment of this entire storyline, and they've talked about innings, made baseball references, told a heck of a story here, is going to be the moment when Roman asks the wise man, who did this? Who caused this? Who started this? However he phrases it, however he goes about it, why is this happening to me? Why did this happen? And I believe in the wise man Paul Heyman when it comes to this. I want him to deliver the line, Dwayne. I do not want him to say The Rock. I don't want him to say anything else. I want him to say Dwayne.
Nah, he's not going to say it. All you're going to hear is, get some man. That's what you're going to hear.
What I do think the logical choice would be when Rock has Solo beaten down. He interrogates Solo and asks him why. And then he delivers the line that his father delivered years ago. I did it for The Rock.
That's good.
And that's when the music hits.
I'd almost rather him not say. I
No,
want it to be Heyman. Heyman knows because he's the wise man. He's like,
but Heyman doesn't really know in
it
this
was The
situation.
Rock.
I don't
He
think
does.
He
No, I'll
knows.
never forget. There was a couple episodes. I can't remember when, but someone
He
asked the
knows.
same thing. I think it was Punk, and he was about to say who was behind it, behind some hit, and then I think it was the Bloodline that came out and took. I think that was just before they had a rampage. But yeah, he does know. He does know. But
that was before he said, "Take me with you."
I think so.
I mean,
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
He does know.
the whole thing. Yeah, with Punk, that was an amazing segment, by the way,
Yes.
too. Take me with you. But I mean, I think it's got to be the like seriously, who's behind this? Why is this happening? Because it explains the absences on screen in a way I think just keeps you in a beautiful babyface spot for Roman Reigns for the time being.
I gotta be honest, I do find it interesting because Paul did not come back with him, but I think WWE released like an official backstage photo, and he's walking with Paul. I've seen this photo, but I don't know whether or not WWE released it or not. But I saw it earlier today, and I'm like, seems like an odd choice, but okay.
Either way, it's great to have Roman back, and the fact that he's been already advertised for next week's SmackDown.
Yep.
We know we're getting him next week. Yes. I'm excited about it. That does bring us to the end of today's show, though. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Saturday. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do. If you don't watch Take It to the Table, where in the world have you been? That you need to look up. If you haven't been reading our opinion articles over on the site, WrestlingRepublic.com, check that out as well. No doubt about it. Thank you. Have an excellent Saturday. Cannot wait to break down more wrestling this month. And I will talk to everybody soon on behalf of me, Chaos, and Anthony. Have an excellent weekend.